Shall I talk to you or talk to the... or just read off the...
Read off the sheet, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Other galleries show inventory. Andipa shows understanding. It's fucking awful. I want people to slow down and to look again and rediscover Warhol the way that he deserves to be seen. Warhol didn't simply paint celebrities, he painted the world that we were becoming, in a world of images, a world of repetition, a world where identity, desire, fame, even truth could be manufactured. Buried underneath the colors and the glamour is the humanity. The vulnerability behind Marilyn, the performance behind Jagger. He is a storyteller of our time, someone who captured the quiet truth that images shape us as much as we shape them. Let's have a look at Apple Macintosh, which is just such a lovely piece. This one is unique. It's outside of the edition, and the colorway is unique, and we've had that verified. Steve Jobs hung out at a party with both Keith Haring and Andy Warhol. Steve Jobs brought out his new Apple Macintosh computer and handed over to Keith Haring and then also to Andy Warhol. Andy didn't know what to do with it because it was kind of pencil, so he took the mouse and he's kind of waving it in the air, trying to work out why nothing's happening. And I think Steve Jobs had to take his hand and sort of plant it down and say, this is how it works. But it caught the fascination of Warhol, who then got into doing some sort of, some precursor work of digital art, really. As we know, he was fascinated by commerce, he was fascinated by consumerism. And as we know, Macintosh, Apple, still one of the biggest global brands. So I love this work. And nice that it's got unique colorways. Here we've allowed ourselves to use a little bit of artistic license because this is actually Keith Haring, but called Andy Mouse. As you can see, it's Andy wearing his fright wig. It is actually signed by both artists, Keith Haring and Andy Warhol, in pencil. I've always had my slight doubts whether it was a collaboration, as a lot of people refer to this work. I think it was more that Andy participated in the project as opposed to sort of collaborated in it. But it's just great, and you can just see this lovely mixture, the bold primary colors of both artists, the wonderful penmanship, if you like, of Keith Haring, and then Andy Warhol-ified with not only the fright wig, but also then, dollar sign and these beautiful neon colors that we expect from both pop artists. Rare, especially in these conditions, so just lovely to have in the exhibition. So forgive us, we've had a bit of artistic license with that one. So I've included two of the camouflage works. They fascinate me. This one's a little bit more subtle. When you come over here, let's pass Marilyn for a second, and you come to this. And these were pretty much the last works that he created before he died. And I just love the idea that he's taken a concept of camouflage and given them a real Warhol pop twist, bright neon colors, and doing completely the opposite, screaming, look at me, which was very much what Warhol is about. And then, of course, we couldn't have a Warhol show without having Marilyn's. There's several of them in the exhibition. He made them in the 60s with various colorways, 10 to be exact. I think he was fascinated by Marilyn, again, about American consumerism, film, glamour. And with her sad passing, overnight, glamour became a myth. She became a myth, really, a legend. And now an icon in the truest sense that's everywhere you go in the world and you show a Marilyn with neon colors, Andy Warhol. We don't present Warhol as a celebrity or a factory. We present him as a human artist, but someone who saw vulnerability in fame and sort of poetry, lyricism in repetition, and truth in the artificial. There's a nice relationship of Marilyn with the Chanel. So the Chanel is another work from the ads campaign. The reason I make the connection is because Marilyn Monroe was famously quoted for saying, "I wear nothing in bed but Chanel No. 5." So just so happens here's Chanel No. 5. And this is very much where, again, through his fascination, Andy Warhol's fascination of ads and brands, there's a kind of full circle going on here, because he's taken advertising, made it into art, and then the art itself becomes its own form of advertising, and that's perfectly encapsulated. This work, Black Glamour, so this was again part of the ads series, and this was to do with fur coats. A lot of people don't really fully understand what this print was about. What I think becomes almost ghost-like is that you've got this tragic figure, really, with what was the strapline of the advert campaign, what becomes a legend most. But it's almost became, or has become, an epitaph. What's interesting about pretty much all the sitters that he uses, especially the big celebrities that he uses, most of them have also got this counter side of who they are, this vulnerability, this awkwardness, this softness. Was that because he had the same, and he could relate to that maybe, or whether there was something that was just this macabre fascination? Again, the tragedy of James Dean, beautiful, handsome man, tragic, passing at a young age. I think he was 24 when he tragically died. And again, we see that it's an echo of Marilyn, it's an echo of Judy Garland and so many of the other sitters that he used. But he's kind of played again on his fascination with branding and ads, and in this instance, the Japanese text promoting the film. He didn't know James Dean, he wouldn't have met him. But one person that he did meet, and you see quite a different style now creeping in, was Mick Jagger. And they were friends from the 60s. Even though Mick Jagger wasn't part of the creation of the artwork, so to speak, he countersigned all the work. So here you've got signatures by both Andy Warhol and Mick Jagger. The creation method of this was not just a silk screen pulled, but was a printing version of collages using ripped pieces of paper to print over. So you get this kind of movement. You also get a movement within Mick Jagger. He's not as static as so many of his other sitters like Marilyn and James Dean. Well, no Warhol exhibition is going to be complete without a dollar sign. I mean, New York, 80s, right? Wall Street, show me the money, show me the green, the green folding stuff. This is what New York was all about. I mean, his language, which was once shocking, it's the air that we breathe now. Warhol was never really painting celebrities. He was painting us, our desires, our obsessions. the masks that we wear. Andy Warhol feels more contemporary than ever, really. This was a project that he did with his dealer, Ronald Feldman, and a group of activists, high-powered individuals, who said, well, why don't you turn your attention and just help us with this project? Again, we're looking at vulnerability. It's amazing, this predator that you see here. Now the balance of power has been turned. It's possibly going to be wiped off the face of the earth. And again, we go back to vulnerability, we go back to the story of tragedy, which fascinates Andy Warhol so much. I mean, this is by far my favorite work in the exhibition. I just find it so beautiful, so striking. And then equally so, over here, we've got its sister print. This is the African elephant. This was an African bull elephant. He's treated this in exactly the same way that he's treated Marilyn Monroe and James Dean and all his big sitters. But yet, tragically, on the edge of extinction, endangered, and totally vulnerable at our hands. And I think this is what Warhol was interested in and why he probably took on the project. This one is really fascinating. This one shows a side of Warhol to me that I don't think is what most people relate to with Andy Warhol's artworks. This is part of the Cowboys and Indians series. This is called Plain Indian's Shield. It's a sign of wisdom and power and strength. It makes me feel that this is almost apologetic, tipping of the hat of what America did kind to its own history and to its own mythology. So this is why, for me, I do find it there's a degree of apology within the work. He's rendered it in his typical pop way with colors and this, misregistration that's going on here. But there is a quietness, a solemnness almost about the work that is very unusual for Andy Warhol. What is interesting, we're seeing works from the 60s right the way through to pretty much the year of his passing. And there is such a consistency. He not only mainstreamed pop art, but there's a consistency with that mainstreaming, which I find very interesting. There is no evolution in technique, but there is almost a deepening of the meaning with work as he's going from subject to subject over the decades. What life is about, endangered species, about our history, what have we done to our own people? You look at each work and you look at the periods, there is a growth. If you look at the artwork for what they are and their method of execution, there is arguably zero evolution. That's pretty cool. Everything is an image now. It's celebrity, and Warhol showed us this before anyone else. Here at Andipa, art isn't a product. It's not a commodity. It's more of a relationship. Us with it with us. Everyone's welcome. and they always have been. And you know, we love people, we love conversation. The conversation doesn't end. It never ends with art. It keeps going, and that's what we love doing here.